I finished my house in Kearns and I put it on the MLS um 2 weeks ago. And this last week, I went and put three mobile homes for sale.
Awesome.
So
Good. You lowered the price yet on your Kearns house that's overpriced?
I believe it is the right price. It's just that I'm waiting for the FHA buyers until June 26th. So I think it is the right price, I believe.
I think you're overpriced. I pulled comps on it and it showed up. Here, you should put that. Do you have it listed non-FHA?
I just have everything. I just put a remark no FHA until June 26th.
Yeah, take that remark off. Here's why.
Okay.
If you guys want to write this down, then I'm going to talk about protecting your assets because I was at a funeral last Wednesday. That's why I missed the call. So when I sell houses less than 90 days, I don't want to communicate it's not going to go FHA. I want an FHA buyer to be emotionally attached to the property, write a contract, do their due diligence, be emotional, and then once we're under the contract and we know they want to buy it, if they do all their due diligence, title work, it's gone through underwriting, then after the 91st day, you rewrite the contract knowing they've already been pre-approved specific to that property, and then you order the appraisal. Does that make sense, Ron?
Yes, it does. But let me ask you, because I had a couple uh, people interested with the FHA. So once they get their housing number, wouldn't that affect if we do a rewrite the contract after?
Sorry, say it again. Once they have the what?
You know how when FHA they have a case or a housing number?
FHA case number? Yep.
Yes. So wouldn't that affect if we rewrite the contract
Okay, so
after?
let me explain with what you would do again. Ready? Are you driving, Ron, or are you stationary?
I'm stationary right
All
now.
right, cool. This will be good to write down. So let's assume you have less than a month until the 91 days.
Yes.
You enter into a contract like normal between you and the buyer. Okay, you enter into a contract, you pull title, they do their due diligence, right? So they get their home inspections done.
Okay.
They start the loan application, they submit the loan to processing. They're processing the loan. You proactively communicate when you bought the property and provide the necessary documentation. Do you know what documentation is required for an FHA flip, Ron?
Um, from my part, no. I usually go
Cool.
with whatever the buyer send me.
Okay, cool. No's okay. So here, I like being proactive. So normally you need to provide a copy of the settlement statement to show how much you bought the property for.
Okay.
And you need to provide, I normally provide like a written P&L or like written scope of work. Old school days, like 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, you used to actually have to provide receipts and invoices for everything. That I've not had to do that for over a decade probably. But we are communicating up front that this is a flip and we're providing the necessary documentation to the underwriters, not the borrower. See the difference, Ron? So
Okay.
disclosing correctly to the lender is also the underwriter. Once they figure
Okay.
out saying, oh man, we can't, they're gonna be like, oh, we can't we can't pull the FHA case number for 7 more days or 10 more days. That's okay. They can still move forward and underwrite the file without an FHA case number and an appraisal. So then they know exactly what their conditions are. And then on the 91st day, you cancel the contract, re-enter into a new contract with the same terms, and then you'll close a couple weeks after that.
That is freaking interesting. That is a new perspective for me to see now.
You've
So
never done you've never done a flip before with FHA financing less than 91 days. You just wouldn't know that.
yeah,
So that's
okay,
why
no.
you're on these calls all the time, because there's always stuff you haven't done.